Hello everybody, it's Tool Travels here. I just arrived into Novosibirsk. I had a friend pick me up at the airport and she was kind enough to give me a tour around Novosibirsk in her car. So it's a pretty amazing city, some really spectacular sights. And have a look outside the window. I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to have a walk now, but look at that. You've got the train station down there to the left. You've got some big square over there, which I'm heading to look for food. It's all lit up and looking very beautiful. All right, everybody, I'm outside now. I've been looking around for food in the snow, and there's a lot of snow. I came across some kind of Middle Eastern shop slash restaurant where I managed to get some food for takeaway. I got a chicken leg, 3 dumplings and a Coke. That was the best I could do. Looks good enough. Right everybody, I'm going to teach you some survival skills now. If you're ever stuck in a former Soviet Union city with some cold Middle Eastern dumplings, then this is what to do. We're going to get the dumpling and then we're going to stick it inside the kettle. Whoops, Jesus. There we go. In we go. Then we're going to close the lid and leave that for a while. Bear Grylls, eat your heart out. I don't know what these dumplings are made of, but the meat tastes very dodgy. It's -8 degrees today, and maybe it's windy as well. So I've got my thermals on. I've only got t-shirts with me, unfortunately, so I have to go and buy some sweaters or something. I'm walking towards the city centre, and as you can see, snow everywhere. There's a wind today, so even though the air temperature is -8, it feels more like -15 or something. So one does not simply cross the road in Russia. You have to go down these annoying underpasses. There's probably babushkas down here trying to sell me something. So I'm looking for some breakfast now. I missed the hotel breakfast, unfortunately. Luckily I didn't pay for it, because there's nothing worse than staying in a hotel and missing the free buffet breakfast in the morning. I suppose the good thing about walking in Siberia in winter is that you probably don't get that slush very much, melted snow, because it's just bloody cold all the time and frozen all the time. So it's time for another episode of Pissed Off Pigeon. These guys are looking at me like, why the hell did you come to Novosibirsk in December? Couldn't you have gone somewhere nice? Now there's absolutely no prizes for guessing why this is called Lenin Square. It's a very big Lenin statue, I must say. Some other giant dudes here, even bigger than me. Defenders of the city, perhaps. And here we've got a magnificent Christmas tree. There's a bloke at the top there making the finishing touches. Look at this, we've got a guy doing ice sculptures here by the Christmas tree. Wow. He's making some stars. I've never seen something like this before. Very impressive. Привет. There's another guy over there with a chainsaw, look. Okay everybody, this huge building is the centerpiece of Novosibirsk, and it's a Pobeda film theatre. So it was built in 1925. And as you can see here, we've got some performances coming up. Ulianta, Szelkunczyk and Spiasza Krasivica. Okay, we can see that around the side of the building here gives you an idea of the size of the place. Very grand. Oh shit, a brick. The wind really picked up there. I'm glad I've got my thermals on. Look, they've got police boxes in Russia as well. Maybe Russian Doctor Who is inside there. Здравствуйте, меня зовут Doctor Who. I've just found some old rust bucket on the street here. It looks like it's been used recently. It's got a Christmas tree on the top, I think, or the branches of a Christmas tree. And we can see the brand here. It's called a Police Interceptor. I think this car's days of intercepting the police are long gone. So everybody, since I arrived in Novosibirsk, it hasn't been that cold. I mean, when I say not that cold, maybe between -5 and -10 generally, which is pretty mild for this time of year, because it can be -20 or even -30. In fact, in about a week from now, I believe it could be down to about -30. But although the air temperature is not that cold, it seems to be a windy city. So every day it's been pretty windy. So I'm at another one of these ice cream booths, and I've never seen a single customer at one of these. We can clearly see on the little window there, "Открыто," which means open, but nobody's buying anything. I mean, who the hell wants to buy an ice cream when it's -10, -15? It could be some kind of money laundering operation. They'll say that today they sold 1,200 ice creams. Very strange. Or perhaps there's a babushka inside and she's selling drugs. There we go, everybody. What better way to show the level of spoken English here in Novosibirsk. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. I found a very cool name for a coffee shop. I absolutely agree. Goodbye 2020 and good riddance. Here we go, I'm inside a nice park here. Crisp snow everywhere. Now I'm a little bit upset at the moment because I bought some brand new hiking boots when I was in Serbia, ready for my Russian trip, and less than a month after I bought them, the sole has come off. So I've been to some boot and shoe repair places, but everybody's just shaking their head at me.
Здравствуйте. После получите еще и подарок.
Какая шляпа? Где у нас мама? Сейчас мама сфотографирует. Привет, как дела? Сейчас мы сфотографируемся, давай.
Пойдешь фототься?
Good morning everybody, another day in Novosibirsk. It's a bit nippy today, -12 at lunchtime, and in a few days it's going to be getting down to -30 in the daytime. Thankfully I'll be back in England by then. So I'm here out in the suburbs of Novosibirsk because I heard about an abandoned shipyard, so let's go and have a look, shall we? See if we can find it. Wow, check this out everybody. I'm right next to a frozen river. And all these things that you see, they're tents. Now these people aren't camping out on the frozen river for the fun of it. They're actually fishing. I don't know if you can see, but next to some of the tents there's it's like a thing for drilling down into the ice. Now I don't think I've ever walked on a frozen river before, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I would say that the whole river is frozen and there's not any places where I might fall through, so let's give it a try, shall we? Maybe that's the abandoned shipyard over there in the distance. This is a very interesting sight. I've never seen something like this before. I'm going to walk over there to those boats and have a look. So yeah guys, -12 degrees at the moment, but there's a strong wind blowing, so it feels colder than -20. But in a few days from now it'll stop snowing and then it'll get really cold. Talking about -30 in the daytime cold. So I'm glad I'll be back in the UK then. But a couple of weeks in the UK, then I'm coming back to Russia, so I have to be prepared for the super cold. Alright guys, I'm walking further down the river to get to what I think is the shipyard I've been told about. Oh, I was just walking through a lot of snow and I think a lot of it is gone straight into my boot. There's a lot of these underground bunkers all the way down the river embankment. You can see the chimneys sticking out here. I'd like to know more about the history of these. So if I have any viewers that are residents of Novosibirsk and can tell me something more about these bunkers, then please leave me a comment below. So there we go chaps, we've got a couple of blokes fishing down there on the ice. I don't know how to ask, have you caught much in Russian? Also, I don't know if these fish in the River Ob are tasty. I would think it's a polluted river. Not sure if I'd want to eat a fish from the Ob. So we've got some pier down here. with a bunch of boats that are moored up for the winter. They won't be going anywhere for a while. My Russian leaves a lot to be desired, but I'm almost sure that this sign says do not walk on the ice, because I think this is the main part of the river, the fast flowing part, and perhaps it doesn't freeze as easy as the inlets where I was before. So I will heed this advice. Yeah, so we can see, or I can see at least, I'm not sure about you, but out there in the middle of the river it's not frozen. There's a sign there, don't drop your anchor. And here we've got some lockups by the river for these owners of the apartment to put their junk in. Or maybe the men like to escape from their wives and go in here. So naturally the fish that the residents catch here is an important part of their diet. So if they catch a big one, that could make fish soup for a month maybe. I'm sure these guys are fiercely competitive. I can imagine the look of disappointment on the face of their wives when they come home with nothing. And then she starts screaming that the man next door, he came back with 3 fish and her husband came back with nothing at all. Could lead to some messy divorces. Alright, so here we can see we've got some old traditional houses in the suburbs of Novosibirsk. These ones are huge. Very nice little garden here. So got lots of nice big wooden houses here. Some of them look inhabited, others semi-inhabited, I would say. We're in the center of Novosibirsk here, but it feels like we're in the village. Much different feeling. Okay, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's getting colder. It's minus 18 at the moment, and I can't even take my hand out of my glove to use my smartphone because it's that cold. And then you take into consideration this wind, then it feels like at least minus 25. Whew. I'm going back into the center, find a nice cozy coffee shop. Okay everybody, it's the 23rd of December here in Novosibirsk. I thought I'd give you an update. Flights to the UK have been cancelled. So due to the new strain of COVID, all flights between Russia and the UK have been cancelled. And now foreigners who are currently in the country can stay until March the 15th at least. So I can stay here as long as I want up until that date. Now, as you can see around me, it's blizzard conditions. It's been like this for the last day and a half or so. You can see the snow drifts here, at least 1 meter deep. And the bad news is that at the weekend it's going to get down to minus 42 degrees. Now so far, I must say, I feel pretty okay, but I'm only a few minutes outside of the hotel. When I was in a blizzard at minus 20 a few days ago, I couldn't take my hands out of my gloves for more than about 5 seconds. But now I'm filming with my hand out. It's starting to get a bit nippy as I say this actually. Now I figured out why people are wearing face masks in this cold weather. I mean, you think the chances of transmitting COVID are tiny in this kind of temperature, but I realize the masks are rather good at keeping your face warm. Only problem is, after a while, all the moisture on your mask, it begins to freeze. I'm on the way back home now, and it's bloody freezing. There's a bit of breeze, so I'm running. My feet are getting colder and colder. I got 2 pairs of socks on and some boots, and it's still not enough. The babushkas are walking around like it's nothing in their fur coats. I think it's all that body fat that they've built up.
Хотите еще?
Everybody, that's about it from me for this video. Stay tuned for the next video. I think there's going to be another one in Novosibirsk. If not, somewhere else in Russia. I don't know where I'm going, so cheers.